welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who? What you may not know about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at a very classic horror story, Image of the Fendahl. I hope you enjoy. Wanda Ventham states that her appearance in this story marks her first major acting job since giving birth to her son and future actor Benedict Cumberbatch. The godlike entity of the Fendahl does not speak. Chris Boucher had been similarly resistant to writing lines to the Mosaic computer Zion in the face of evil on grounds that one could not write dialogue for God. This story introduced a new version of Leela's famous leather outfit. It was noticeably lighter in colour than the last. The new version was created because the original was wearing out. Furthermore, it caused Louise Jameson some problems because it was a leotard. The new version, by contrast, was actually a dress. Producer Graham Williams had also instructed designer Amy Roberts to make Louise look sexier in the new outfit. K9 appears only briefly in the opening and closing TARDIS scenes. He is suffering from circulation corrosion and stays in the TARDIS. Image of the Fendahl had been written before it was known K9 would be joining the series on a regular basis. John Leeson was not recruited to voice the character, who had no dialogue. Louise Jameson claims the reason her hair is done up in this episode is because a BBC hairstylist had mistakenly cut 6 inches off of her hair just prior to filming. No year is given on screen for the story, but in a trailer broadcast after the 4th part of the previous adventure, The Invisible Enemy, the setting was given as 1977. Leela kissing Adam Colby on the cheek was an unscripted visual ad-lib by Louise Jameson. The surprised look on Edward Arthur's face is genuine. Max Sale was originally supposed to shoot himself on camera, but this was rejected as being too dark for a series aimed at family audiences. Chris Boucher took inspiration from the work of archaeologist Louis Leakey, who had been excavating human remains for many years until his death in 1972. Boucher named Colby's dog Leakey as tribute to him, although he later realised that people would miss the reference and assume the name came because he pissed all over everything. Terence Dix's subsequent novelisation of the serial, in fact, gave both reasons for the name. This is one of Louise Jameson's favourite stories. Despite this, Louise Jameson decided after this story to quit. George Spenton Foster took the cast out to lunch before the read-through, and afterwards Tom Baker made numerous jokes about the script, picking out all the double entrances and sending it up. This caused Chris Boucher great upset at the time, but had the knock-on effect of him combing through his scripts from the Pharaon for any double entrances. 2 days after filming was completed, Tom Baker and Louise Jameson attended the world's first ever Doctor Who convention in London. Chris Boucher drew upon the Fetch, a creature from Irish mythology which manifested as the phantom double of the living person. The word Fetch was incorporated in as many of the place names and presaged fear Ransom's transformation into the sinister Fendahl core. Concerns arose that the Fendahlian costumes were too phallic in appearance, and so ribbing was added to mute this impression. The filming used the same set and location from Pyramid of Mars. This story had a rare case of each viewership increasing each episode, with part 4 having over 9.1 million viewers. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Image of the Fendahl is probably one of my favourite 4th Doctor stories. It's a really dark and very horror-centred story, and I think that really works well in its favour. I think the creature design is really cool, especially the golden sort of goddess look of the Fendahl itself. It may not be the most memorable to a lot of people because for some reason this one does seem to just blank from people's minds, mainly possibly because 4th Doctor had so many different stories that, it's really hard to pick which are the best ones. But I do really like this one a lot. It's a really underrated one in my opinion. A lot of the visuals in the story are really good, and I will admit I did notice that it is the same set as the Pyramids of Mars set. You can just tell. Nonetheless, I love this story. I think it's fantastic. Truly underrated watch. I think it's great. Visually, it's beautiful. Wonderful in every sense of the word. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.